¿Listo?
Listo.
Let's get it then.
Saludcita.
Salud. ¿Qué onda, mi César?
¿Cómo andamos?
Aquí chingándole. Ya nos hicimos streamers.
Edad. Dude.
Fuck.
Sí.
¿Dónde nos lleva la vida, no? Los caminos de la vida.
OBS, picándole aquí, getting the
Pinche
audio
hacking
ready.
that shit. Pinche
Turn
the
up the
mainframe.
Apple Music. Turn down the SFX music.
Let's
bro.
go. If you guys don't know, folks, we are fully bought in on YouTube Live and Twitch. If you guys want to do us a huge favor and follow us on there, if you guys like our content, we have more content coming. Cesar's been doing a killer job at jumping on and just having some gameplay. You did Football Manager once and you did FIFA once. Looks like you're going to go more FIFA route.
Yeah, more FIFA route, just more, chill. I'm more used to it compared to Football Manager. Football Manager can be very detail-oriented, very like everything has to be done right for you to win games or whatever.
I know, like more than half of the time te la pasas like with settings and
Yeah.
fucking aquí, moviéndole cositas, no? And rather than gameplay. And then the gameplay's hella fast and you're not playing, huh?
Yeah, and it's not super like nice like gameplay. It looks kind of outdated gameplay. Y no estás jugando yourself.
Parece
right?
Lego FIFA.
Yeah, like Roblox. No hate to all you football managers that love it. I understand if you're detail oriented like that, you may love it. But I personally prefer the EAFC.
Yeah, and I'm jumping on usually Sundays, at some point in the early parts of the week, to do just a little bit of smack talking, just al desmadre, whatever happened online on the Twitter world about games. I got copyrighted twice when actually trying to watch full-on highlights, so I learned my lesson. But there's plenty of content on Twitter. This last time we just went through random stuff de la Selección de Mexico, and there's a whole bunch of funny content that everybody puts out. So either way, if you guys have any content for us that you guys want us to cover on these, feel free to shoot them over, and a huevo, we'll jump on there. And we're already at 30 subscribers on Twitch.
Hell yeah.
We just need to get to 50 to become affiliate, and then we could start really personalizing it with, you guys know, in the Discord we got emojis and we got freaking stickers. You could do the same on Twitch. So I think we could have a really good time with it. So if you guys would like to, please go out and support us there. Pa seguirla de madre.
Yeah, and stay tuned because EAFC 25 comes out in about a week. So, we'll be in there chopping it up.
Oh, well. Dude, it's going to get crazy. Those first couple of days, I feel like it's going to be popping.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on Twitch. So welcome back, folks, to episode 118 of Goal Sided. We got a whole bunch to talk about. Big international break, so there wasn't too much club-wise. But a whole bunch of stuff. We had Nations League, UEFA Nations League started, kicked back up. We had CONMEBOL qualifiers we'll talk about. We had all the friendlies in CONCACAF between Mexico and the U.S. who are now qualified for the World Cup already, so they don't have to.
And Canada.
Yeah. Oh, and Canada. But yeah, we'll talk about those. We'll do a little bit of a preview ahead of this weekend. We got Chivas versus America on Saturday. North London Derby on Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep an eye out for the games to watch at the end of the episode. Well, let's get right into it, Cesar. All right, let's kick it off with La Selección de Mexico. They had 2 matches over the weekend. I jumped on the live and talked a little bit about my thoughts after the match against New Zealand. But they won 3-0 there, and then they tied 0-0 against Canada. Let's start off with the New Zealand match. They won 3-0. I think they completely dominated. I gave my letter grade on my live that I think I give it like a B. But I want to get your thoughts, Cesar. What did you think of the first match against New Zealand?
If we're going to take it match by match, I think the first match, yeah, you can give them a passing grade, a B or an A. I think New Zealand just wasn't a super strong team to where we could completely like break down the match and say, pues esto les faltó, esto les sobró, esto hicieron bien, esto hicieron mal. So it's more of just like getting the team together, get them going with the Vasco Aguirre's new style of what he wanted out of the group and out of every player individually. And I think overall they did well. I thought Santi Jimenez kind of was involved in the play a lot, would come down, se botaba a recibir, hacer el sacrificio. And I think Chino Huerta was a bright spot as well, coming in and giving an instant impact right away with that goal. Tala was another good at goalie. He was
Yeah.
good along with Johan Vasquez and Cesar Montes. So I think overall the team did well against a very poor New Zealand.
I think Tala was one of the ones that probably needed that game the most.
Yeah.
No, shaking off those jitters from that Uruguay match, which you were even calling it out. I think live on the Discord that fool looked so nervous.
Yeah,
right. And against New Zealand, he was able to set his feet, got a couple of saves.
Yeah, and then also the times that they did pass it back to him, he looked comfortable on the ball back again.
Yeah, he almost got a good assist on Santi on one, like a good long ball, which I think is probably one of the reasons why Vasco liked him, because he does have good feet play. He's of like these new generation of keepers, even in Mexico. But he just needed to calm down a little bit, and that was the right match to do it.
Yeah, happy for him, excited for him to get in the mix of one of the fighting for that position, because I think that goalkeeping position especially is one of the most open. Like it could be any of those three if they really set their minds. They got time to get more experience in their club and then really say, okay, estoy listo, levanto la mano.
Yo, Loki, that kind of surprised me. Even Tala brought it up in an interview after that game. They asked him, like, how do you see this competition, this this keeper competition? Usually you see these, I don't know, like I understand that they probably see it a bit open, but I can also understand, I've seen players in the past in the interviews, they say like, no, boys, like let's respect the starter that's been there. Like, I don't know, like Ochoa left it and now Malagon's been doing it. But he straight up said, no, it's a really good competition and we all feel like it's open. And I was like, fuck, okay. Like,
yeah,
so it's
great.
not Malagon 100%. And I don't know, maybe that height is like
it is
a little
the
bit different. Tala's 6'2". He's 4 inches taller. That's a huge difference in goal.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. So yeah, again, Malagon has to have these performances where he's like, yo soy el seguro en la portería. I've been bicampeón. I'm in Club America, one of the biggest clubs in Mexico. Like, I am your starting goalkeeper. So Tala has to show up to that competition every time he gets called up and say, nah, it's me.
Yep.
I'm the one that's taller that can also play with my feet and all of these extra characteristics that he needs to point out during his gameplay. Yeah,
and they both didn't really get tested much. So if we're moving on from the New Zealand match, kind of talking about both maybe, Malagon had one save against Canada. Tala didn't have a single one against New Zealand, but I think he did really good. Tala did a really good job with ball at his feet, really helping secure that back line to make sure that they were confident. But like you said, I think we need big performances from Malagon because he's had the opportunity to just take the spot by storm. Pero luego le sale la lesión. When he messed up his shoulder before the Copa America, he got hurt right after the Olimpiadas when he was supposed to be like the star in Necaxa or wherever he was right after. I think he broke his leg or something. I think he needs to take the big moments and actually be there for them.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, I think coaches maybe just see it as unreliable. Like, I mean, bruh, if you're not there and then the coach has to put in Julio Gonzalez, that would fucking piss me off.
No, I think it leaves you with like a different taste to, his performances compared to Tala. Tala had a bad performance, but now after the New Zealand, I'm like, okay, well, Tala has maybe a right to say, put me in and let me compete for that spot. I do think for the Canada game, Malagon had that really good save, but I think he was also really good with his feet. He was able to find Henry Martin when he came in. He was able to find Santi, or just being able to play out of pressure, right? Skip the lines. But I think it's more apparent when Tala because of his previous performance against Uruguay, right? When he was shaky. So it's just, let's give these two specifically and maybe Alex Spadilla his shot when it comes, right? But I think it's going to be up to these two goalies.
Yeah, and I love the competition piece too. We haven't had this in forever because of Ochoa.
And Osvaldo Sanchez before that, and then
there was little pieces in time where all of a sudden a competition came out of nowhere, like Conejo Perez coming in instead of Osvaldo Sanchez or Ochoa, right? And then every once in a while, Ochoa would just kind of get shunned, or he would decline coming. He was too busy with Ajaccio or with whatever club he was with. they give somebody
The
else a shot.
clenbuterol fucking thing that happened, yeah.
So like de vez en cuando, but never one that like I feel like really pushed these keepers, and I'm excited for these keepers to push their limits.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's driving Tala to improve so fast, right? He knows that he needs to from that first match. Now he's the one that's pushing. Malagon is like, bro, I'm right here.
Yeah.
If you mess up, he's gonna have no problem putting me in. I wish Padilla somehow could have gotten minutes.
Or even
only
Tapia.
2 matches.
Like I wish Tapia could have gotten more minutes because he was also another player, another goalkeeper that maybe could have got into that mix.
Yeah. But the great thing for Mexico fans is that these are all very young, good keepers. Even now we're looking at a keeper base where the oldest is Malagon at 26. And like 2 or 3 of them still qualify for like U23s.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like a Tapia and Padilla. And Rangel's barely 24. So
Rangel is canterano in the Chivas, right?
Yeah.
So he wasn't brought from any other Fuerzas Básicas.
Not that
been with.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think, Chivas needs to keep pushing these young players going, and the rest of the teams in Liga MX need to do as well.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Canada match. 0-0 draw. A couple points that I want to bring up there, but it was kind of boring in my opinion. It was at the same time as the presidential debate, and like honestly that shit was more exciting than the fucking Mexico game. So I had both of them on my phone, and like I had a headphone in just to see if there was some excitement, but no le veía mucho. I think both teams really respected themselves. I think one of the biggest themes on both matches, I saw that back line de Mexico, like, queriendo a huevo to have a clean sheet. Like, no matter what. I saw a couple plays that looked like Jimmy's Mexico or Tata's Mexico, where, like, if you can get through the back line or through the middle, and like, it looked very sketchy to me with that back line. But I saw freaking Johan Vazquez tirándose a muerte in a friendly, like, just getting the ball out, however, diving header, whatever, lo que sea. And I think they were all bought in to, like, you know what, vamos a quedar en cero, and that's it. And I think that comes from what everyone keeps making jokes of, that El Vasco is like puro huevos, right?
Yeah.
Échenle huevos, cabrones, right? And more than tactics than anything.
Yeah, and I think it was apparent the way I saw it as well. It just seemed like for me, in the grand scheme of things, it seemed like Javier Aguirre was brought in for one, so they could get their players back, right? Mm-hmm. Make your players respect you and buy into your idea and your systems. And after having those players bought in, then slowly we're going to be able to capture the fans back.
Yeah.
Because the fans, I think, were one of the things to highlight, that they didn't show up for these 2 games.
Not even the AT&T one, huh?
Yeah, not the AT&T and not the one at the Rose Bowl. So I think he was brought in to stabilize the ship and make sure we can't lose in these 2 moleros, because if we lose, it's going to get worse.
It's over. Yeah.
So stabilize the ship, make sure we get a clean sheet at the back for both of them, and see if we create something going forward, then cool. If not, at least we got a 0 at the back, and we can look forward to the next game, survive another day.
And that's total, like, receta del Vasco, right?
That's
Mallorca, 5 in the back, right? Yeah. Mexico before, de vez en cuando, 5 in the back, right? So, like, he knows he knew what he needed to do. Yeah. Cannot get scored on. You're not going to maybe be scoring in bunches against tough teams, and he did what he needed to do. Now he gets to go into 2 matches in home territory, where maybe that nostalgia of El Vasco Aguirre will bring out the
Rafa
fans
Marquez
there.
As well.
Rafa Marquez, El Héroe regresando a casa. A match outside of El Estadio Azteca. This next one's going to be in Puebla versus Valencia. Yeah. Right? That's going to be cool. People are going to be excited to see a good club team there. And then the next one, which I think they're banking on the momentum growing and growing. The next one is against the U.S. in Guadalajara. And they're hurting right now, the U.S. We'll talk about it in a second. But I think if I'm La Bomba, I'm seeing this as almost like a perfect couple matches, other than not getting a goal against Canada.
Yeah. For me, I gave it if I can give it a letter grade, I gave it a C. Overall, between both games, this Fecha FIFA, average, which is passing. It was a passing for Javier Aguirre. It's what he was asked to do. It's what he asked his players to do. And no hay que reprocharle, like, yeah, we didn't win, but I mean, that's what he was brought in for, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I myself, I gave it a B minus, a little bit better than yours because I like seeing Javier Aguirre's fire that he's bringing a little bit different. It's what we all thought Jimmy was gonna bring. Like, aunque te falte la pinche táctica, eres mexicano, way. But you're on the sidelines looking the same like Tata did when we were all pissed off that fool didn't care about Mexico, right? But then El Vasco, like within 5 minutes of the match against Canada, he's rayándole a la madre el árbitro.
Yeah. Got a yellow eventually.
Right? And then you just know naturally that Rafa Marquez behind him is tactical.
Yeah.
And the players are even saying that in practice it's a difference. Some fool that won Champions League, one of the best players, center backs of all time, is coaching you. You're gonna listen.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I give them a little bit more benefit of the doubt. Nothing better than that because I think they need more footy movements para hacer que mejore el equipo. I think they're getting more out of some of the players, but I think they need a lot more work to be put in to get Santi more involved.
Yeah.
Santi hasn't scored in 14 matches now. And you can say night and day, like, oh, is it him? Is it this? Is it that? But it's just not working.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, the way the locker room is set up, I think it's a lot more healthier, a lot more competitive, like you mentioned. And I think going forward, if they can keep this momentum of like esa garra that we're talking about and also implementing the tactics with more time into practice, into kind of doing a strategy or like te la pasas aquí, este se bota, and just combinaciones de esas, maybe we will see more goals in. But I think overall, just even in the Canada game, like I wished El Chino Huerta could take more one-on-ones, or Roberto Alvarado can take more one-on-ones down the line where you're expected to create something. Like I think of previous generations or previous selecciones, and I think of Venado Medina going down the line and just going all the way to down the line and just getting across or beating his man, or un Tecatito or un Irving Lozano. Like I wish, we were defensive, but can you guys do it individually and provide that spark?
Chino Huerta is the only one that seems to have it. Like
Diego Lainez, I wish he would have got more minutes because he came in and le pudo sacar una amarilla because he took the Canadian right back and then he got a yellow. Si no lo hubieran tumbado, he would have gone into the box, right? So like, can we get more quality out of the players that we have? If Roberto Alvarado can't do it, then bring in somebody else. Bring in a Marcelo Flores. Or
I think I have a hot take with regards to Mexican wingers. I don't think Mexico has a single starting winger.
Yeah.
I think every single player that Mexico has, like they have the quality to be ballers. Marcelo Flores, Diego Lainez, Chino Huerta. Chino Huerta balled out in the first match off of the bench.
Yeah.
Being that change of pace player, because this fool's just nonstop, right? Pero como que no, I just don't see them doing that well from the get-go, from the beginning, from the starting minute. Como que they don't build up into the game, let the game, like own the game as it goes. Los veo mucho más mejor de revulsivos off of the bench. So I even say, like, I think Mexico needs to find a good starting winger. Because Chino Huerta, you put him as a starter, and then all of a sudden you're like, what happened to the guy from last game that came off the bench? Yeah. You deserved the start off of that, but you're not doing it now.
Yeah, and you see it when he plays in Pumas as well. Like sometimes, unless it's a weaker opponent, he won't shine.
Yeah,
like he'll just be dull, like no te hace una.
But that's kind of what happened in Chivas. And then you put him in as a sub against a good or a bad team or whatever, but you give him the 20 minutes and you're like, bro, that dude needs to get every minute possible. And then you give him those minutes and then you're like, no, never mind. No, never mind. Right? So I think him, Diego Lainez, Marcelo Flores, these guys are all so talented. They are like probably some of the most talented footy players Mexico's seen, youth levels. Now that they're getting older, still there, that talent. But they need to be factors in games.
Yeah.
And they need to know how to play into the games, not just be talented individuals there. Yes, do it your own when you can. Pero like sometimes Chino Huerta, when he can't do it by himself, he can't do it with others. Yeah. Y eso falta. And Quiñones is probably the only one there that I can see. If he could get every single minute and have really solid matches.
Yeah.
But I would love for Chino to get to a level where no matter the opponent, no matter the minutes that he's getting, he does amazing, and then they can leave him in as much as he wants every minute.
Yeah.
Pero está cabrón. But give me Cesar, give me your who you think was the player that did the best in these two matches overall. Who would you shout out?
One player?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Damn, one player that shout out.
Yeah, give me your shout. Be like, ese güey.
I still think out of everybody, it's between Johan Vasquez and Luis Romo. I think just because of the work rate that Luis Romo does on the field, I think he's a player that can shine out there. Whether I wish I could get more out of him, but at the same time, like I understand his role in the game. And I wish Orbelín Pineda had that same work rate or had bright spots. Yeah, he scored a goal against New Zealand, but I still think of Orbelín Pineda, and like he's missed so many others in the past that I okay, you made a goal against New Zealand, cool.
Yeah.
But then you couldn't do anything against Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Romo is my bright spot, one of my best performers, and then Orbelín Pineda is one of the ones that were kind of average.
So work on it, guys. No, off of your point, I really agree. I think this Mexico team it's the same story again. That like, yeah, they did great against New Zealand, pero no sobresalieron nadie against Canada. So like, what can you really take away from that New Zealand match when we don't see any of that, the same attributes, the same flair, the same explosiveness, shots on goal against Canada. And that's what makes it tough. I hope Vasco sees that and like you're like, Orbelín, ¿qué pasó? Where's that guy from last week? A goal and an assist. Piojo Alvarado, an assist last game. I thought Piojo did really well both matches.
I don't think he did well.
I think he did well both matches. I would give him a mini shout because I think he's following the good rhythm that he's had with Chivas. But obviously he no hizo diferencia en el marcador against Canada. Who was I going to the one that the biggest one that I want to shout out would be Luis Romo, who I think outshined everybody. I think he did really well in both matches. Hizo su función, did more than that against New Zealand going up.
And he scored. Right?
And he scored, and he hit one off the post against them.
Yeah.
Against Canada, did his function, and then didn't do much going forward, but like that's his minimum that's needed. Does a lot to transition from defense to attack. I really like that versus sometimes Edson a little bit slower. I think Luis Romo does it very well. But I think, I would give him a shout for that. And then players that I think need to improve the most I think are gonna be starting would be Santi. I think Santi. Yeah. I don't put all the blame on him, and I think a lot of people are hating way too much. And I know it's been a year, but the team needs to function in a way that will be conducive to him scoring. He's involved in a lot, pero pues no llega al gol. And I think he just needs to get that little espina out. I think he needs to get one goal in, maybe do a little bit extra work at practice because he had a couple. I think against New Zealand, he had a sitter that the keeper blocked.
Right in the 5-yard box, 6-yard box.
Yeah, he had a good shot from outside the box, so he's getting that rhythm to get the plays off, pero tiene que caer el gol.
Yeah, I honestly think it's the quality of Mexican players that he has around him. Like, you're going to tell me you can't give Santi a good ball or do a good combination play with him against New Zealand?
Yeah, but
New
the thing
Zealand
is, we're getting to the point with Santi where he's gotten about 10. Let's just say, let's fake a number. He's gotten about 10. He should have scored 1 at this point in the past 5 matches, and he hasn't. It's been 14 matches, and that's the thing.
He's so frustrated. Like, on the field, you see him, he's like trying to outdo or find a way to score by dropping like really deep sometimes. And it's like, can you find a way or a system that works for Santi, because he is a lethal goal scorer when he has good opportunities.
I think they just need to find the right wingers and just lock them down. Is it Chino Huerta and Quiñones? Is it Quiñones, Chino Huerta off the bench? And then, like, we still don't have the right winger. I think they put Piojo Alvarado in this last match when it was the tougher matchup, and it's not going to be him starting.
Yeah, I give Roberto Alvarado kind of like a C- por la falla que hizo against Canada.
Yeah.
That he's a natural lefty, isn't he?
Yep. He is.
How do you get a really nice ball bouncing like right around that penalty spot and you sky it?
Yeah.
Or you se la das al portero?
Yeah.
Like, you need to score those, my guy.
Yeah, so that's where it's a combination of things, right? He's gotten some balls, he doesn't put them away, but if he was getting them by the boatload and he was missing, pues ya sí se le echa toda la culpa a Santi, right? So I think he needs to get a lot better because this team is banking on Santi doing well, or else this team is not going to be as good as anybody expects it. So, I want to give some flowers to Eric Lira.
Yeah.
I saw a little mini video of his family talking about how disappointed he was when he didn't make the World Cup squad, this last World Cup, but he was like 22, I think. But now with Anselmi, he's got that new role of like a drop all the way back, 6 all the way to the center back. And he ha sobresalido tanto that he gets the call-up now. He gets some good minutes against Canada. He had a pretty good match, mainly defensively, but he's everywhere. Like, he seems to have a really good fitness level with Anselmi that I think he didn't have before. And I think it's really motivating him. Ahora sí, now he got the call-up to be like, all right, I'm gonna get at least the backup spot.
Yeah. And he put a couple good passes, pretty long passes against Canada in the second half. So I think, yeah, I mean, it's not a fading grade by any means, but yeah, I don't want more out of him.
Yeah, he didn't play against New Zealand. But yeah, the interview was really interesting. His family, his sister, his parents were like, bro, like that they had to console him and be like, you're 22, you got more time.
Yeah.
And that how excited he was when he got this call up. So that dude's grinding. I think he needs to go to Europe. He got a couple of offers. But I'm excited for him to play. Maybe him being there will finally get them to stop bringing Charlie. I don't know why you need to bring the whole Cruz Azul center mid.
For real.
You would just need like 1 to 2 from a certain team, my guy. They're not Manchester City tampoco que quieras a todos.
Yeah, he's 24, Eric Lira.
Yeah, no. Bring him. Bring Luis Romo. I think those are the 2 good ones on the team.
Yeah, those are
Deja Charlie.
Yeah,
if I'm talking about who needs, I'm not the guys that are just bagging the Charlie out. But like, I would like a different player in there than Charlie. You have enough Cruz Azul players.
We need a true 10. Like, we need to find a true 10 because we don't have one.
Yeah, but because now Vasco's kind of playing with the 10. Yeah. It's been Orbelin, who we know. A lot of these players just don't affect the scoreboard.
No.
And ni te dan ni las ganas como que lo van a hacer.
No, y luego cuando lo faulean se hace esa marometa, and I'm like, bro.
Orbelin, bro, that shit's kind of cringe.
Por favor, güey. Está bien, hazla, pero también hazme un gol allá.
Do it only after you have scored the goal.
Sí, güey.
But
we're winning.
But the spot, el 10 se hizo para jugadores como él, como Roberto Alvarado, like Sebastián Córdoba.
Sebastián Córdoba. If he had the fitness, if he had the confidence, I'd love for him to play that 10.
Yeah, but like, también, no sé, you can't just ask for it, right? He needs to do it.
Pinche. Both feet, he's suave. He like knows how to move. Un caño aquí.
Yeah, he's good with it. He's cool with it, but I mean, you can't force him to want to be a baller, right? He has to do it himself. But yeah, those are the 2 matches. Like we said, next month they play Valencia and US. We'll go over whatever call-ups that they have for that. Keep an eye out for some live content on those as well. But I mean, not bad from El Vasco in his first go. You see little things here and there, but you also still see some old habits here and there that you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, we'll get a better idea on the next 2 matches if he's really gonna lock it down with what we saw these previous 2 games, or if he's gonna bring some new tactics by Rafa leading those.
I think we'll see some. I think we'll see some new names too. A couple of new names.
Okay.
I think we got to get a little bit of a switch up. Maybe he'll drop some. Even after New Zealand, he mentioned that there were a couple players. You know how sometimes he just says out of pocket stuff. He said there's a couple players that no me gustaron. And I was like, God damn, brother, it's in the locker room. All right, folks, let's quickly go over the U.S. a little bit and Canada because they played each other. Canada beat the U.S. 2-1. That's the first match for the U.S. without Greg Berhalter after he got fired or they mutually let each other go or something. But they lost 2-1 with interim coach Mikey Varas, and it was pretty surprising. In all honesty, Jesse Marsh putting in that work with Canada, we know he has, but I didn't think that they were gonna get a W against the U.S. this quickly, like right away.
I don't want to say I'm super surprised, but I'm slightly surprised that Canada was able to get a win. It had been a while. It had been at least 10 years since the last time Canada won in American soil.
In U.S. soil since like the 50s or 60s. It's been decades.
That long?
It's been decades.
Puta madre. No, yeah, I mean, great job for Canada and Jesse Marsh then. Putting in that work.
Huge job for him. He also mentioned that afterwards, he mentioned that he did a bit of research on, he basically said that he prepped as if he was coaching against Berhalter because he said Mikey Varas he knew he was going to be very similar. And I was like, bro, you cooked that fool. He didn't even get the ISO. He's just the interim, my guy.
Yeah.
Déjalo ganar.
Pobrecito.
And he went and he didn't win 2 matches. Mikey Varas, after the match against Canada, losing 2-1, he goes and plays against New Zealand, and then his defense did him dirty. They lost. Yeah. They tied 1-1 off of a crazy last-minute goal.
And Pepe's goal, the first goal that got called off for a foul, that was crazy as well. I don't think that was a foul.
It wasn't a foul.
He should have stood.
Beautiful strike to put it away. And we know we rep the boy Pepe, El Pocho. But yeah, he didn't get his goal. He didn't get his goal. He almost scored a couple other ones, but then Pulisic got the goal.
Yeah.
And then like a couple minutes before the end of the match, they get a ball behind the line. The 2 defenders, the U.S. Mark McKenzie and Richards go for it. Richards gets a little dink on it. And I think McKenzie smacks it, trying to clear it, and it hits off of the face of the New Zealand attacker and goes over Matt Turner and in goal.
That shit's so funny. It's like one of those cartoon goals.
Yeah, it legit. Ni se la creyó el güey. He's like, what the fuck?
Those Looney Tune goals. Yeah,
it legit looked like a Looney Tune goal, but goal is goal.
Goal is goal. Vale lo mismo. So, yeah good. Chris Wood had already come off, so this was a fresh forward que le metieron ahí, and hey, los cambios resultaron, eh?
Yeah, bro. The coach is like, cook it.
Let's go.
Cook it. See what, lo que hice, mover todo. No, dude, it just hit off of your guy's face.
Yeah, but, I mean, the U.S., a lot of new faces like that, right back, Pelochinos.
Yeah, I was like, who?
I was like, ¿de dónde sacaron este viejona?
For real, what the hell?
But yeah, I feel like Poch can't come soon enough for the USMNT national team to get their system going, all their players, the ideas that Poch has. And I think I'm expecting good things, but at the same time, I'm wondering if Poch may be on fraud watch because he didn't win anything at club. Can he do it now? But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a clean slate. He has the players to do it. Can he take him to that next level?
I'm excited to see what group of players he comes with. Yeah. I think, in my opinion, if I could predict anything, I think he's going to come in wanting a big statement. I don't think he's going to bring very many MLS players, in my opinion, because I don't think he even knows anything about the MLS. Like, he's been in Europe his whole career. Definitely not anywhere around here. But I think we're going to see a lot of these players that are getting their chances right now that didn't really pan out in these 2 matches. I don't think he'll even call them back. I think he'll go with very solid players. I could see him bringing in like a Tim Ream back because he sees him in the Premier League when he was there. Yeah, and he's going to want the players, the jerarquía. I think he's going to want to make sure that the Pulisics are there every single minute as the leaders. I could see him mixing in young players. I think the boy Aiden Morris, the center mid from their team that's at Middlesbrough, I think that fool needs to cook. I think you need him in the final roster for the World Cup. But I think he's gonna go big name or bust, as big of names as possible, even on the bench. Tráeme al güey que trae una tía de Estados Unidos, but that plays at that really good squad. I think he's gonna go. I think this guy will be a Euro snob. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of MLS players.
And I mean, if that helps out, if that gives results, by all means, I think it's going to force a lot of MLS young players, a lot of MLS teams to start selling players or start moving players to Europe, porque va a estar cabrón if he is like that. because he's gonna want the best. He know if they don't perform how he wants it, he's gonna be like, all right, well, there's another player. I'm gonna go get him.
Yeah.
Because the U.S. low key, I feel like if they look, they'll have a lot of players in like European academies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They have players like in the Bayern academies right now, Dortmund. They got the keeper from the freaking Barcelona academy right now.
Oh, for real? I seen a video of him.
Diego Cochin. He was on this call up. He didn't get any minutes, but they got them around. Bring them, and I bet you no se va a tocar el corazón to kick out certain players. Like that fool Christopher Lund that we've talked about from Palermo. Adios, goodbye. The new player, this dude that we said, who is he? Marlon Fossey was interesting. He's 26 years old, plays at Standard Liège. Isn't that where Ochoa played?
Yeah, that's where Ochoa played. Wait, who are you talking about?
The new dude that you said, the dude with the little with the fro?
Fossey, yeah. 7.9. He was the best player against New Zealand. Holy shit.
He's already 26, but plays in the Belgian league. And I don't know, ¿dónde lo sacaron? How did they find out he's American?
For real.
Like, I don't know.
He's from the Fulham Academy.
Ahí está.
Wow, okay. Shrewsbury Town. Jugó ahí.
What?
Hey, Bolton Wanderers. Like, this was been around the EFL. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like they're going to find these players que maybe tienen un padrino que fue que es de California.
Un padrino that went on vacation to the U.S. once. He saw San Francisco once.
No, el bridge.
No, but dude, like I saw a bunch of meme videos of like Klopp with like the shocked face that they were like Pochettino watching our booty ass selección playing. Like that dude's gonna show up, and I think he's gonna be like, all right, cabrones, we're gonna put in work because a mí no me van a hacer vergüenza.
Say for real. Yeah, he has an extra. People at ESPN were talking about him having an extra incentive to do well because after the World Cup, he's gonna want to go back to a top club that's gonna pay him well.
Yeah, so, I mean, bro, just take the USD. That fool couldn't. If he cooks at the World Cup, it gets them to knockout rounds, maybe wins a game. That dude can freaking retire in America.
Dang, I don't know. I think expectations should be higher for them.
It should be, but it's the first big, like the big name. I know Julian Klinsmann was a big name, but like this in his prime at the moment, y todo. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see some fresh faces. He will be around for the match against Mexico.
Oh,
it's gonna be a second. They also have a prep match before, so va a estar bueno.
So he won't coach those?
Yeah, he early October he's starting with the team, so he'll get to one match prep before the Mexico game, and then he'll be there.
Wow, imagine that. Poaching in Lacron. That's
Sheesh,
crazy.
Would have thought.
It's sold out, bro. That shit's crazy too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The people were. That's maybe one thing we'll address. A lot of people have been hating, like whether we should be hating on like that the game was sold out in El Lacron, or whether we should be excited for that because in the U.S. now people are starting to not show up to games. In my opinion, bro, los fans de la selección de México es otra cosa. I know we're Mexican here, but that's their team in su país. Yeah. So like in my mind, like they have a whole different ball game if si quieren apoyar or boycott. But I hate the mixed tour and everything going on here because that's just a money grab.
Yeah.
But para mí that doesn't have to do with them.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. Si ellos quieren llenar los estadios, I'm happy, really happy they're going to el Estadio Cuauhtémoc.
Yeah,
like, they're not just going to the Azteca. They're going to Lacron and Cuauhtémoc.
Cuauhtémoc's beautiful too. The outside's fucking dope.
It's hella dope. And then maybe next time they'll go to El Tec or, somewhere else. Pero yeah, I'm happy they're getting outside of.
Yeah, bro, take that shit around. Vayan a la pinche corregidora en
Vayan
Querétaro.
Al Estadio Victoria in Aguascalientes would be cool as well.
Bro, and these are hostile environments. Teams do not love going to these places, but guess what? It's advantage for your team.
Yeah, even Pachuca, they have a high altitude. Go there.
Imagine La Bombonera too in Toluca would be lit. It's a beautiful stadium too.
It is. It's a really nice stadium.
Yeah.
Even before the renovations, it was dope.
Bring those chubby fools, shirtless fools that are always behind the goals.
Have you seen the tattoo that they have on their head? Del Diablo.
Those fools están locos a la verga. Aguas con esos.
Bring those, chingada madre. Saquen al güey de...
El caramelo.
Caramelo. Sáquenmelo.
Those fools with the tattoos would be next to security like, no. Imagine the full trying to show up. Fuck, hell no. All right, folks, let's move it on to Europe. In Europe, we got the Nations League. Let's open it up with the Nations League B, just for the drama. No,
for real. I didn't know they were in B.
Yeah, England is down to B because they got relegated. If you get the lower spots in the A group, you get in one of the A groups, you get relegated, and then somebody moves up. But England is there in the B group, and they played against Ireland. They won 2-0. I don't really have too much to write home about because it was pretty easy. England should be smacking everybody at that level if they're top 5 ranked. Mm-hmm. They need to. But 2 ex-Ireland players scored for them. They had Declan Rice scoring a goal, then Arsenal, and they had Jack Grealish. Both of these players went through the youth ranks of the Ireland national team because they have ancestors from Cork, I believe, is where Declan Rice's family's from. Declan Rice, respectful when he scored a fucking banger of a goal. Así es. No va a celebrar. Jack Grealish fucking
celebrated that shit. Como si fuera una final.
Yeah, that fool did not care. He's like, vámonos. I'm not Irish, dijo.
For real. Yeah, it was really interesting seeing like the backstories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Declan Rice said, my grandparents wouldn't have liked if I would have celebrated. I know they're not here with us physically, but I know they wouldn't have liked it.
They also wouldn't have liked if you switched squads, my guy, pero
true.
Eso no te valió.
Yeah, and many people online were like, yo, like, it's not club. Like, why is it so deep? And I was like, bro, like, it's even deeper.
It's deeper.
Because it's
bloodline.
Yeah, it's your bloodline. It's your country. It's your families. Like,
there was hella English fans. But yeah, you could hella hear when both of them scored the boos. But when they would score, it was both on the side with the English fans, so that helped them out. But every time they would both touch the ball, they would get booed. Like, those fools guardan rencores.
No, yeah, it's a lot deeper.
Yeah,
in England. But yeah, and then Grealish, like you said, celebrated. But I don't know what his backstory. También tiene grandparents from.
I think his parents or grandparents are Irish. He played up until the U21s, and then he had some drama because this was the British bad boy, right? He had some drama with the coach, didn't get called up. The coach was blaming it on, like, he still doesn't know which squad. And then at some point, entre todo eso, he just accepted the call up from England. And then he started playing for them.
Yeah.
And no, but, I mean, he said it with the celebration, dude. This dude was pumped. It's funny, I watched the highlights, and it was, like, literally one goal after another, and you just see respect, and then just, like,
Yeah, it was funny. And then after the match, they did a press interview asking about the ancestry stuff, and then they also asked Declan Rice if he thought these goals were meaning more of a English squad that's more attacking minded. And it was funny because it was Declan Rice next to Jack Grealish, and as Declan Rice is answering, which his answer was yeah, under Southgate would be very attacking minded and not only defensive, but we scored attacking minded goals as well and exciting football. And all you can see is Jack Grealish on the side como aguantándose la risa, like not wanting to laugh, but you can tell man was dying on the inside.
Yeah, he's like, no, that shit was not good footy.
And I just remember Harry Kane had like 20 touches in one Euro game. Like, what do you mean? You guys were attacking minded.
But it's interesting because right now they got an interim coach.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, like Jack Grealish, también, you don't even have the coach that's going to give you proper footy yet. Like, he's not going to stay there. So that's interesting that he's like hating on his ex-coach, but they don't even have a full-ass coach yet.
Yeah. Who's going to be their coach? Have they announced anything? No.
I don't know. I think it'll probably be like an Eddie Howe from your Newcastle.
Interesting.
If they go internal, if they keep it. I would assume they would keep a British coach. The other thing I wanted to call out for them, the Declan, what's his name? Cole Palmer ended up declining or going home from the call-ups.
Oh shit!
So he wasn't even there. In my opinion, a bit of a disrespect that like maybe he's not getting the love that he deserves with the squad. I figured it would be better without Southgate, but if this dude's from anywhere the same school of thought, they're disrespecting him by not giving him minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. They put Jack Grealish almost like a 10 in this game, and then they had Anthony Gordon out wide.
Mm-hmm.
My guy, in what universe is Cole Palmer not starting over Anthony Gordon? Are you kidding me?
Todo respeto. Pero yeah,
That's
Cole
your boy
Palmer,
too.
Yeah,
You're wearing his jersey, right?
Yeah, okay. But I mean, we just got to keep it real. Cole Palmer is on a different level, and you can tell. But yeah, I mean, not to say that Anthony Gordon did not do a good job. He did a great job against Ireland that game. But yeah, Cole Palmer is a big miss if you don't bring him into the squad. I know he might be a little bit of a drama queen or a diva or lo que quieras, pero that's where the manager comes in. Like, you got to handle that because you need players like him on your squad. We saw it at the Euros. Like, ¿qué está pasando ahí?
Yeah, but what was it? One of the matches he came in off the bench and just completely turned the whole team around, and you're just like, okay, why don't you want that?
It was against Slovakia, I believe.
Yeah, you're like, why don't you want that if your team is struggling offensively? But I don't know. They know more than we do, I guess. In another match, Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 900th career goal versus Croatia. He's still scoring.
He's still scoring.
Starting too.
Yep, and he celebrated that, like, was very emotional on the ground and shit. Like, it meant a lot to him.
I saw you hit that too in the crowd. I put the volume up on my phone when he scores and I see him hitting the corner flag because I'm like, bro, I want to hear the crowd go crazy, and they always hit the C.
Damn, yeah, roughly 62 goals more than Messi. Tiene Cristiano Ronaldo. And he says he's
my goat.
Looking forward to 2026.
He said that?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not ready to retire.
Es que va a estar buena la tele when he's watching it at home.
Vámonos que yo en Saudi Arabia me dan unas vitaminas y estoy listo.
Yeah, that fool's probably getting like fucking all the therapies. Fucking yeah. Do you think
Experimento y toda la cosa.
Do you think he'll make 2026?
I think he'll make 2026, and I think he probably won't start. I don't think he should start, but I think he'll probably be there.
He'll be 41.
He'll be 41, and he'll still go in like 30 minutes and try his best. Pero no sé si le den, but I think Roberto Martinez is going to respect his wishes to be there, and he's going to take him.
Do you think he makes 1,000 goals?
Hell no, bro. 100 more goals? No manches. That's a lot.
I mean, before he was doing it crazy because he was scoring 50 goals a season, right? And right now he's probably doing 20, maybe.
So that's what, 5 seasons?
Yeah.
That's 5 years. You think he's still got 5
plus
years
international duties?
All right,
and
so
they play Liechtenstein.
San Marino.
I meant to. They're just gonna start putting a bunch of friendlies, dog. San Marino, Liechtenstein. Hey, San Marino won their first match.
They did
in like 3 decades.
It's like the early 2000s, I think.
Damn.
But yeah, no, I think he'll be there, but I don't know if he'll reach 1,000 goals. I don't think he will.
He should go to like USL and then just start fucking pounding the numbers.
Monterrey Bay FC, cabrón.
He's gonna be at the Plex here, and he's gonna be scoring like 20 goals in small-sided, and he's gonna add them to the count. Let's move on to the CONMEBOL in South America. A couple of big drama points there. Argentina versus Colombia yesterday. Colombia with the big upset, winning 2-1. Argentina still doesn't have Messi. But still with that, they're expected, I think, to plow through everybody. But not Colombia. Colombia won 2-1. Was it in Colombia?
It was in Colombia. It was in Barranquilla.
Sheesh.
A lot of people were complaining of how hot and humid it was.
Bro, the coach de Colombia is Argentino.
Yeah.
And that fool was fucking...
He was drenched.
He was on the sideline. Every time they'd pat him, he was like...
Pobrecito señor, denle agua.
Agarrele un fan, cabrón.
And then right behind him is like the Gatorade stand. It's like, wait, turn around and grab one, wait, que te están muriendo.
I saw there's a portion of the game where they were all chilling, and then they panned to him, and he was legit like trying to get the sweat off him, and he was drenched, his shirt. And then they go to Luis Diaz. That fool, no, hombre. Estaba fresco.
Damn,
Un día fresco para
él.
No, dude, that shit was crazy. It's a completely different weather than Argentina.
Yeah.
So that had to have played a difference there. But big shout out to Colombia for getting the dub.
Yeah, James Rodriguez still playing lights out. He was involved in all 3 goals. So that's how you know he's still playing top level.
Yeah, but like Loki, it makes it like lo que me pregunto is like, bro, what kind of a career would you have gotten from him if he wouldn't have like just turned himself off for a couple of years?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
with the drama, with the sobrepeso y todo, like
streaming too much.
He would have been such a baller.
He would have been, and I think he's still a baller.
I mean, he is a baller, but
level.
like we got him at such a good level at those World Cups
Yeah.
And then he goes to Everton, y se apaga, right? And then he goes to Real Madrid, and no le va muy bien. He doesn't get minutes. And like I just would have loved that time to have been so much better.
Yeah.
Because then he goes to Brazil, and he does good
he
for
went
Brazil.
Somewhere in the Middle East. I think he went to China or somewhere. Yeah.
But he's one of those players that, like, no matter what, he shows up for national team.
Yeah.
Right now he's at Rayo Vallecano, and they suck.
True.
So like,
yeah, they're pretty bad. But yeah, he got a beautiful cross for the first goal, for the opening goal. It's like he played short of a corner, and then se la dieron para atrás, and just a beautiful dink for a header. And then in the tying goal, the Argentina, he had a mistake, which he passed it back. Y se lo cacharon ahí, and they scored, and then he scored a penalty. So he's, involved in all three.
It started getting chippy towards the end. There was a play where the Argentina players were asking for a card on like a little bit of a graze, donde brincó un jugador de Colombia, le dio en la cabeza, I think a Cuti, or I forgot to who in the back. And then the penalty was a bit tough too. A lot of people thought that was Otamendi slide tackling, that he didn't touch him, pero se ve que la toca. And then you get the penalty, and then Argentinos don't necessarily love when calls don't go their way.
Yeah.
After the game, they start doing a little handshaking and everything, and then Dibu gets the camera to his face, and then he was going viral because he smacked the camera.
Smacked the shit out of the camera and the cameraman. Holy shit. I mean, Dibu Martinez famous for his antics, but now he's been exposed for not necessarily liking when he loses.
No, pues hay que aprender a perder también, ¿no?
Sea hombrecito y nomás go shake hands. Ya se acabó. ¿Qué más quieres?
But they've got beef with Colombianos for a bit, no?
Yeah.
From the Euros, from the
Copa America
y todo. So it's becoming a little bit of a clásico now that Colombia is getting really good level.
Yeah, and I think just the level of Conmebol, and like every game is a matar, a morir. The fans are cheering. It's so packed, even though it's hot. Like, it's crazy. The scenes are crazy. Like, you watch some of these games and you're like, bro, like, I want to go there one day and just feel the atmosphere at these CONMEBOL qualifiers.
It's crazy. Yeah, even at Legion, when I went to go watch Uruguay versus Brazil, the like atmosphere, el ambiente, y todo was crazy. And I still think that was just a fraction of what it would be actually in South America, because everybody was very calm and shit. Like, it was louder than most games I've been to, but like, I can only imagine how crazy it gets when you're at that country's home stadium. There's not a single soul from that other nation, and everyone just wants that ball to go into the net. Like, that would have been crazy in Colombia.
Yeah, and the camera was panning a lot to a couple, the Argentinos, and it's like they always pan to them, so it makes me believe like maybe they're the only Argentinian fans in the stadium. Like, that's the levels of CONMEBOL.
Yeah, it's crazy. And with that, Colombia moves up to second in CONMEBOL. Argentina still stays in first because they had a good little wiggle room up there, a little gap. But the ones that I think that like no aprovecharon what's going on with Argentina is Uruguay. Yeah. Two draws this window. They're without Darwizi, and then getting suspensions for Darwin Nunez and everything along there. So they're having to switch up their formations. They don't have like a natural forward right now. I think they're putting Olivera from LAFC up there. Hace falta Darwin.
Yeah, it's crazy that es tan importante for Uruguay. But over here at Liverpool, I think they're doing just fine without him. But yeah, Marcelo Bielsa needs to come up with a solution for them, so they can continue, because slowly se pueden ir slipping down the ranks, because you got Venezuela, you got Bolivia right behind you, a Brazil who's been doing shit but can turn it on at any moment. So yeah, CONMEBOL qualifiers are no joke, so he needs to come through.
Yeah, it's interesting. They like I think there's so many good Uruguayan ballers right now in the world, but I also think that they need those players that take that next level up in quality, and Darwin is a very good example that dude's top level. But then de lo demás de eso, you're just like, okay, then you have really good players in their leagues. Yeah. Pero pues de ahí, pues como que no más. Right now they're attacking three with Olivera from LAFC, which is great for MLS. Pero I'm sure Marcelo Bielsa wants more from him. Then you have Maxi Araujo from Toluca, and you're just like, okay, like, do we really not have a better winger there? And then on the other side, Facundo Pelestri. Ex Manchester United, who left because he wasn't doing good enough, right? So like, okay, like in my brain, I'm like, I thought we had a lot better quality for these Uruguayan players.
And maybe we do, right? In a couple of, maybe by the time the World Cup comes around, because Pelestri's still super young. Maxi Araujo just left to Lisbon, right?
Yeah.
And then you still have this other kid at LAFC, which I don't know how old he is.
He's 22.
Yeah, so 22.
Yeah, right? But they're all very young. But like I guess I'm getting to is that, like, if you get through those starting ballers, a Luis Suarez and a Darwin, the next ones, they're badasses in their team. The Maxi Araujo is the best player in Liga MX. Oliveira is one of the best in MLS. But like they need that depth for Marcelo Bielsa, for like just amazing players that are at the next level already todavía, so that they can become the next global superpower with regards to footy. Because Argentina is sacas a uno and you got Lo Celso, who's a baller, right? Sacas a otro, you got freaking Nicolás González from La Fiore. Like, they got the tres, de cuatro in the top teams in Europe.
Yeah.
But yeah, they tied against Venezuela, interestingly enough, they show up against Uruguay, get the point there. Pero les dan la madre Bolivia.
En La Paz.
Because everyone says it. Because it's in La Paz, 10,000 feet up in elevation. You're struggling to breathe. Apparently, the players get like oxygen masks at the half. Oxygen is scarce up there, man. Está cabrón. And they do it on purpose.
Yeah, Bolivia goes on to beat Venezuela and Chile in Chile, right? So
that's the surprising one. In Chile.
So it's really Bolivia. This window they turned it on. And then Chile, on the other hand, with Gareca, I don't think they can get a hold on anything. They haven't won. They're down there with Peru. Mm-hmm. They only have one win in 8 games.
Damn.
Like it's really tough for them, and they didn't do so hot at Copa America either. So
yeah, they haven't won basically since they beat Paraguay a long time ago.
Yeah, the first matchup.
Jesus. No, that's a struggle bus. I think they're really dependent on a couple of players, and one of them being Diego Valdez from America. And I think
Lichnowsky wasn't there either.
Yeah, and I think they need better players than that también. Like, you need some better star players. Like, when you're having to bank on Brereton Diaz, who they like convinced to play for Chile, who's British Chilean. Like, my guy at the backup at Southampton is not the best option. Like, you should have better options than that. But I think Chilean football is at a pretty low point right now. Hopefully they pump out some more youth players to Europe. That's always the solution. And then you'll see yourself with a good generation in a couple of years, like in Ecuador, like in Colombia. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they are. Colombian football is just like how they found Luis Diaz in like indigenous tournament. Like, that's what they need to do. They need to find these gems in the rough and send them over.
Y sí, y se va a poner bueno la Conmebol. Like I said, Bolivia now tied for the last qualification, like the spot that goes into qualifiers for the World Cup, since they get 7 total at that point. So it's going to get good there. Paraguay, if they slip up.
They just beat Brazil. Holy shit.
Oh, for real, huh?
Yeah, 1-0 with a banger of a goal de tres dedos.
So we're seeing some shakeups there, even at the bottom of the table. It's gonna get really good. Venezuela, si no se ponen las pilas, we were calling them out as having a really good round and really good players to do something. They can fall out.
Yeah.
Who knows? Hasta Brazil en quinto.
Yeah, they're 10 points, and 7th place, 8th place has 9 points.
Jesus. All right, Cesar, let's bring it on home with a bit of a preview of el partidazo de este fin de semana. On Saturday a las 6 de la tarde, our time here, it's going to be Chivas versus America. My Chivas versus your America. Chivas is coming in a really good moment. They haven't lost since they lost to Tijuana a couple months back when what's his name? Juan Carlos Osorio was cooking, and he's still cooking, but when we really thought, like, okay, this fool's cooking with that Tijuana team. They didn't lose at all in Leagues Cup, but they still didn't move on.
Yeah.
They just beat Juarez 5-0. On the other side of the coin, your America has been struggling. I think they've lost 3 straight in Liga MX.
2 straight. Cruz Azul and Puebla.
No, before that, they lost Tigres. In league, they've lost 3, but they had a pretty good, Leagues Cup. But then les dio la madre el Cruz Azul, and then they surprisingly lost against Puebla. I think we can all tell they're a little bit thin right now. Injuries. I think a couple suspensions, no sé qué.
A lot of injuries.
Yeah, so it's making for a good match. Chivas coming up when everyone's questioning who's their striker. Where's Chicharito? And then La Hormiga comes out of nowhere. Roberto Alvarado's in a good moment. Oh. And then your America, Diego Valdez out. Henry Martin, can he do it all himself? Brian Rodriguez show up. Fidalgo, you struggling, was good. So it's going to make for a good match.
Yeah, I honestly don't have high expectations for this America. I still want them to go out there, partirse la madre, El Jonathan, Fidalgo, Ramon Juarez, or Cáceres at the back, Malagón. Que suben esa camisa and try your best, because I honestly don't see how, because a lot of the game goes through Diego Valdez. A lot of America's game was going out on the wings. Mm-hmm. And right now we're lacking on that department. We just got a left winger from Colombiano, I think. I'm trying to find him, but
it's not that Borja guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Borja. He's been there a couple games.
No. We just got
another
brand
one. New.
Brand new. I was looking him up. Anyways, point is, yeah, so Alex Sendejas is still not back as well. So he would really help us out there. Igor Lichnowsky's out, like I mentioned. So we're just patching up right now. Y necesita Jardinet trying to ignite the fire que traía la América en ese bicampeonato and go out there and just do their best. I think Chivas comes in a very much better moment with La Hormiga, just getting that goal against Juarez, then beating Juarez 5-0. I think Chivas are going into this game a lot better.
Yeah, and it's clásico, right? So like clásico. Everything goes out the window. Sometimes strategies go out the window. If things just aren't working out for you, like in America, like what you have to resort to is like, all right, cabrones, like you guys have personal beef with them. Tantos partidos que hemos jugado the last 2-3 years. Like who's gonna put this jersey on and really represent for America? Who's gonna really represent for Chivas? And then they show up, and it's just a whole different ball game, right? We know Jonathan Dos Santos shows up for these matches all the time, but that's the big thing. What will we get? Will we get the same? We have had an international break since they finished doing well, Chivas, and doing not so hot America. Did that rest help out? Do you get some change in tactics, right? But like you mentioned, Chivas is in a good moment. Pio Alvarado was doing really good before the national break, got an assist. What can we really see? Does that Chivas defense hold up? They still don't have Chiquete Orozco, but they're making it work with even El Pollo Briseño. El Pollo Briseño played against Juarez, and he balled out.
Yeah.
So Tala Rangel playing lights out too.
Yeah, America's getting Victor Davila from CSK Moscow. He's Chilean.
Chileno? No mames, they got him?
Yeah.
That's he's ex-Pachuca, ex-Leon. He's a baller, but...
Ex-Necaxa.
But
he's
not
a baller,
doing
but...
With Leon. With Chile.
And he didn't... he played this last match 60 minutes. He didn't do too well for them. And in Moscow, he hasn't scored that many goals. So I wonder how he's going to come in and how he's going to impact. But I don't think we're even going to have him for this Chivas game. So it's going to be really slim pickings for América, and va a ser casi de pura garra. A ver si Fidalgo me da un riflazo y va a llover el siguiente día o algo.
Va a llover en la Ciudad de México. No, bro, but that seems to me like a desperation pickup.
It fucking is, bro.
I like that player. I really liked him when he was in Liga MX. And like when I've been seeing him the last couple of days in qualifiers, I'm like, oh, bro, like what's he doing in Moscow? They probably got good money at Pachuca. Somebody needs to bring him back to Liga MX. But, like, America needs answers.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's an answer. But ultimately, America has the firepower to find their answers internally. Rodrigo Aguirre, you got brought over to be the answer. right? Like, I think they have the names there on the bench. That's where, as a Chivas fan, as a Chivas player, you have to prepare for whatever, because who knows? America could show up with the names that they have firing on all cylinders, and it could be a really tighter matchup than what maybe people think, with Chivas doing good, America not so good.
Yeah. To be fair, Juarez wasn't that big of an opponent. I think
Definitely
they're
not.
really weak. So yeah, maybe we'll see a more even match than what we expect.
Yeah, what I'm excited about is that El Padilla started getting some minutes for Chivas. I think he needs to be primed and ready for whatever minutes are needed in bigger matches. So I hope he gets to play against America. He needs to get into that rivalry and really take up a bigger role. I know he's 17, 18.
Yeah,
but it's
really
perfect.
young.
If you're already giving him minutes, let him become a leader.
Yeah, true. Make it Irving Lozano que le das tiempo and maybe he'll surprise. Go
Contra el América like El Chucky on his debut.
Well,
Let's go.
If it leads him going to fucking Europe, I'm all down for it.
Damn, que le mete tripleta a
No,
América.
tantos dije uno, cabrón, uno.
Oh, him and La Hormiga, like it just would sound like such an amazing story. I don't know why Gago is freaking edging us with this thing. Like, bro, just put in El Padilla, let him cook with La Hormiga. This superhero of David versus Goliath, this América that spend so much money on their players. Y que pierdan contra un pinche guy que le gusta pinche anime and a 17-year-old that looks like my little cousin. Like, El Padilla does not look like a footballer,
no,
dude.
he does not. No. He looks like un pinche mocoso que anda por ahí just hanging out.
Yeah, maybe is that la cantera de la Pachuca. It looks like all those little fools just fucking running. Por todos pinches lados.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to see this game, but I think if anything, we should expect Chivas has higher expectations than America does.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I think right now America has a little bit of wiggle room to be like, oh, well, they're all injured.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Chivas is in a good moment. Y todavía les dieron en la madre if America somehow pulls it out. But Cade Cowell, a la mano de Cade Cowell, eso no va a pasar. El vaquero de Guadalajara has been tearing it up. He didn't get too many minutes.
He's got Israel Reyes on his side. No va a hacer nada.
El cantante. You see that video of that fool singing?
Yeah. That was
cringe.
Le hace todo.
Le hace todo. No, but it's going to be a good matchup. Should we hit that burrito there or what?
Let's do it.
Burritazo.
Already here.
There was only the one time, folks, if you guys are brand new to the pod, the first time we bet on pod.
Hey, relax.
Was a jersey wear, right? He wears a Chivas jersey, and it was the chiquetazo, when Chiquete Orozco scored the header to eliminate you guys.
And then you guys went into that Tigres final, right?
And we went to the Tigres final,
okay.
But I had lost all hope. I was at my house telling my wife I have to wear an America jersey. Damn it. And then Chiquete saved my life.
And now he's playing for us.
And we have it. No, Chiquete Orozco with the header, remember? In La Seca after Fidalgo got the red card.
Yeah. I remember.
And we got it documented, and
it's somewhere on the internet.
It's on the internet. It's pinned in our Discord.
So join the Discord if you want to see that shit.
Join the Discord, folks.
Dead.
But I mean, maybe if we want to do some predictions, I think Chivas will win. I could see them winning like a 2-1. I guess I would say.
Shit, I was gonna say 2-1 for America.
You think so?
Yeah.
Damn. Plus, I could see it going either way, and it probably will happen.
I'll take a draw too, just because we got so many injuries.
I could see a stalemate draw happening too.
A 1-1, estaría bien.
We need a winner though.
Just get some goals in.
Los clásicos, hay que ver goles. Yeah. There's got to be a winner for the smack talk, because then it gets stale afterwards. If they draw and you're just like, we see each other like,
so
nobody won. Who's better?
Yeah.
Who's in a better moment?
So who buys the burritos?
I think Chivas needs one right now. Chivas les hace falta una, so we gotta do it.
No more Alan Mozo own goals.
Ojalá
or maybe another one.
What dummy, dude. I still don't know what the hell that
Bro, that was hella funny. He got a yellow at 2 minutes as soon as he came in against
I'm telling you.
the fucking Canada. She was crazy.
We even mentioned it too. Why we were like, that fool's a free yellow card when he goes in. And he went and he did it.
Dude, run that clip back, dude.
For real. All right, folks. Ready, Cesar, with some games to watch?
Let's do it, yeah.
All right, games to watch. Cesar, let's go.
We got Genoa against AS Roma. Roma has yet to win a game this campaign. They have 2 points out of possible 9. Can't they get a point? Can they get the 3 points against a very tough Genoa?
All right, from my side, I got the North London derby happening this Sunday, Arsenal versus Tottenham. Tottenham has a good opportunity here with the very injury-ridden Arsenal. Odegaard off of international duty, injured Calafiori to Gabriel Jesus. So they have it a bit rough. We'll see how Arteta lines up, and hopefully they get the dub.
We got Southampton against Manchester United. Can the Red Devils get a win away at Southampton, or they just keep descending that table?
In La Liga, we got a good match. Girona versus your Barcelona. Barcelona's first tough test, in my opinion, under Hansi Flick. They just scored 7 on Valladolid. Pero ahora sí les toca uno más difícil with Girona.
Ahora sí. We got, keeping it in La Liga, we got Real Sociedad against Real Madrid. Can Mbappe keep scoring and now against a tougher opponent that is Real Sociedad? Or will the memes come back on Twitter?
Lastly, I got El Clásico de Clásicos in Liga MX. We got América versus Chivas. Chivas, I think, has pretty high expectations here, especially with an América that's a bit wounded, injured, thin on players. And Chivas coming at a good moment. Do we see La Hormiga solidifying himself in Chivas history with a goal? I think so. Let's go. All right, well, that's it, folks. Yeah, like we always say, please share us with a friend. Help us spread the word of Goal Sighted. Follow us on all social medias. Follow us on Twitch and on YouTube for our live content if you guys love us to get some more content.
Yeah, guys. Thank you guys for the support as always. We'll catch you guys next time.
Talk soon. Peace.